Hello, I'm LCTR. Welcome to a new game for this channel. But even if you've been living under a rock, shaped bunker with the words "No FPS games allowed" on the door, you would still have heard of this latest title to spring from that development powerhouse Blizzard. It's Overwatch. Except it's not quite sprung yet. In fact, it's not due to properly spring from their developmental bosom for another 5 and a bit months. So what we've been given access to is a fairly early beta. So I'm swiftly going to cover some of the basics, but I also want to talk about the sizable number of elephants in the increasingly crowded room. There's no getting away from the point that if you say objective, team-based, hero-based game, you get a list of titles that seems to be growing by the day. So what does that mean for a game, and games like Overwatch? So, as we just covered, 2 teams, multiple objective maps, and unique heroes spanning a broad set of classes with individual abilities whose cooldowns must be managed. Initially you might be thinking MOBA, which is fair enough given the description. This is purely player versus player. There's no NPCs to farm here. There's also, at least currently, no progression within matches, like you may find in other popular MOBAs. No levels to scale, unlocking more power and so on. Of course, this is an FPS, so the complexity comes in different ways, such as heavy focus on team play and learning the ballistic nature of the weapons. Unlike other games, all 21 heroes are unlocked straight away. But unlike other titles, Blizzard has chosen not to go down the free-to-play route. Instead, it's around $40, which is around £30 for us in the UK, with an option to buy the Origins Edition for $60, around £45 from me. That includes some cosmetic items for Overwatch, and some other cross-game link-ups with other Blizzard titles.
Just a little longer.
So it's pachyderm time. How does Overwatch compare to existing games in the genre? What makes it different? Well, I guess we better initially look at the genre as a whole. We're saying these are character-based, team-based, ability-based, objective-based FPSs, or CTAO FPSs, as I'm sure no one will ever say. There's a number of games already wearing that badge with pride. Games like Dirty Bomb and Team Fortress 2 have been around for a while now. I'm guessing most people watching this have experienced them, and if not, go do so now. They're free to play, and understand the broadly different approach they have for this genre. Not just in graphics or tone, but also the way their design and mechanics link up the ideas and tools of team play for their own game. In TF2, the design of the classes is such that close coordination, or at least mutually shared common goals, is literally in the name of the game. A Pyro or Heavy is a powerful character, but without the backup of their teammates, the deliberate gaps in their design, in terms of how much general utility they have, become plain to see. Ammo, health and movement all need to be supplemented or supported by others to be truly effective. I'd argue that Dirty Bomb, a channel favourite for me, although I also have hundreds of hours in Team Fortress 2 under my belt, is towards a different end of that design scale. The characters, or mercs, tend to be more rounded in their design and utility. There's a feeling that a talented player with good aim and tracking could use those skills to really impact in the game in a way that's more difficult to happen in Team Fortress 2. In Dirty Bomb, those classic aiming skills are richly rewarded. They are the core of that gaming experience. And now I'm not denying the crossover between games like Team Fortress 2 and Dirty Bomb, just showing that different styles brought by differing designs can deliver games which, within the same overall genre, that feel very different to play. And so to Overwatch. It's in this broad genre too, but where does it fit in? Well, from my time with the beta so far, I'd say somewhere in between Team Fortress 2 and Dirty Bomb, but it's certainly ploughing its own furrow. Headline features like escorting payloads echo the same rough, objective-focused gameplay you might have already expected, but it never feels like a copy of another game. You might even argue that the distance and the differences in the hero design are the widest of any of the titles out there. Weapons that effectively auto-aim to people on your screen are almost unthinkable in a game like Team Fortress 2, let alone a game like Dirty Bomb. but they are present in Overwatch in a number of flavours. Personally, when I heard of the auto-aim weapons before actually playing, I was sceptical, but after playing for some time, I feel like they're almost a natural part of the game. People don't flock to them as an easy route, and you also have to wonder if Blizzard's first step into the first-person shooter arena was designed to include players who might not be FPS gaming regulars. And at the other end of that hero scale, you have characters like Hanzo, who has a powerful bow and arrow weapon that can be used to devastating effect. However, he is a hero that has a high skill ceiling. People with poor aim and player movement prediction will probably find him frustrating to play. If you're a seasoned FPS veteran who already knows that high mouse sense is a bad thing, then your years of gaming are rewarded in Overwatch 2. In purely comparative terms, I'd say Overwatch was closer to my experience of TF2 than it was of Dirty Bomb. That aiming skill, though pivotal and rewarded in Overwatch, isn't the all-powerful tool at the heart of the design. The abilities, awareness and coordination with your teammates is where the game really shines. As is often the case, general public play is often not the best example of this. But if you're a regular Twitch watcher, I'd recommend checking out the likes of player streamers like Seagull and Kudochop to see what high-level play can look and sound like. I've included links to both streams in the description below. So people have said that with the arrival of Overwatch, this could shake up the current status quo. But as we've already discussed, there can be broadly different gameplay experiences from what might initially look like the same overall genre. It's tough to know the total user base of this genre of games, remembering this is now console as well, but saying that X will replace Y simply because of broad gameplay structures seems at best unwise. The might and weight of Blizzard behind Overwatch surely must give it some boost, of course. Things like the limited access beta and knowledge that this is Blizzard's first FPS means people are understandably eager to try it for themselves. Keep in mind though that Overwatch has a significant amount of time still in the oven before we see a release-ready product, so there could be a fair degree of change still to be seen. Indeed, the dev team themselves seems open to community feedback, and are open with discussing many aspects of the game's development. We must also see what turns the payment model for Overwatch takes as well. As we know, it's pay to play with a $40 minimum buy-in, but the early appearance of cosmetics in the Origins edition of the game seems to point to perhaps future editions in this regard. As a player who's already paid a $40 entry fee, I'm unsure and eager to find out what the average FPS gamer would feel about further paid cosmetic unlocks. Yet of course, continued development requires continued streams of revenue, so time will tell if this FPS game goes down the expansion route as well. With the decision already not to have heroes behind any individual paywall, it seems almost inconceivable that future heroes, if indeed there are any planned, would also require individual payment to unlock. One core pillar of the game is team composition, and swapping heroes to counteract the enemy team's makeup. That would obviously be undermined if others had access to a wider spectrum of abilities just because they bought them. I hope you enjoyed this first look at Overwatch. I have another video planned to arrive soon, showcasing all the current in-game animated emotes that the heroes have. They are unique in-game animated sequences for each character, and have obviously had a lot of work and time put into them. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please hit that thumb up and subscribe button if you enjoyed it and would like to see more Overwatch content on my channel. I would love to do more, perhaps focusing on individual heroes, tips and tricks, and so on. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at LCTRgames. I thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.